How's it going, guys? This is Rafael again from Extreme RC. Don't forget to like us, subscribe, and share. Today, I want to go over some of the most popular 10 scale cars in the market. Arrma has been doing great. We've been selling a lot of Arrma in my shop. I highly support and like the product. I think you get, for the money that you spend, you get a ton of goods with Arrma. So today I wanted to compare a few models in the Arrma family. I only have enough room to put 3 cars on this table, so I chose the Big Rock, the Typhoon, and the Vortex. All of these are brushless, but it doesn't matter. You can buy brushed or brushless. You're still gonna be very happy with the product, definitely for the price that you pay. Just so you see how they look inside, all of these look the same way. They have the same power system with a Spectrum motor and ESC. You have a fan on the ESC and a fan on the motor and a heatsink. On the long chassis, like the Typhoon and the Big Rock and the Senton, you get a little bearing in the center to help out with the speed, so the drive shaft won't rattle on high speed. You see that you have turnbuckles. They're adjustable, very thick plastic pieces. All the drive shafts, the A-arms, and the buckles are pretty nice and thick. What else can I say? It's fairly easy to work on them. And the best thing about these cars, in my opinion, is that you can easily change the look of this RC car. Right now, if you have a buggy, all you need to do to truly make it a Big Rock is the obvious things. Tires, number one. You change the tires to a big tire, and then you can change the front bumper and the rear bumper, and pretty much anything that the Big Rock have in addition, like these side guards, can move on to this chassis. Like I say, it's the same chassis, and the screws that are under this bracket, for example, you just take these 2 pieces off and these pieces out, and you can move it to the Typhoon. So truly in 30 minutes I can make this Typhoon a Big Rock, and vice versa. And in the same time, I'll grab the Senton. This is a brushed Senton, and it's actually the 2-wheel drive model. You can quickly tell by the ESC is the not as impressive ESC, let's put it that way. I won't say cheaper, I just say not very impressive. It's a 2-in-1. It's a ESC and a receiver, so if one of them go bad, everything go bad. I don't like this. I like the 4x4 models, but Arrma is one of the only brands in the market that allows you to take a 2-wheel drive car and change it later on to a 4x4 model. And again, that's another great engineering idea. Not even engineering, it's just a great thought that you can take a 2-wheel drive model, add a center drive shaft and a differential, and all it is, it's $40. You buy this for $40, you do it yourself, you enjoy doing it, and you know, if you got your kids involved with it, perfect. You teach them how to work on stuff. So I like Arrma. I think they're doing great things in the industry of RC. Now I want to go over why choosing a Typhoon versus a Senton versus a truck like a Big Rock or the Granite. And I will show you the Granite in just a minute, and we're also going to over the Vortex in a little bit. So if you're going to race on a racetrack, on a groomed racetrack with jumps and hills and such, the Typhoon will do better because you got the spoiler on the back. It flies in the air way better than a monster truck will, or even a Senton. But Senton is a short course truck, is independent suspension like all of this. They're all independent suspension, so they're handling pretty good and very similar because they're based on the same chassis, same shocks, same power system, if it is brushed or brushless. So the only difference is the aerodynamic. That's it. The aerodynamic is what plays a big factor in many races, definitely on street racing. But when it comes to off-road, when you jump a lot, you make sure that aerodynamic is a big factor. You want to pay attention to it. So with the Senton body, we find out sometimes when you jump, the body catches air under and it just basically flies backwards this way, just because air gets under the body and it acts like a parachute. So we call it parachuting. As far as the Typhoon, like I said, it will be the most agile, quickest, and jumps the best for off-road racing. And if you have a big field and if your yard have a lot of potholes, big limbs on the ground, obviously the Big Rock will be the better model to choose at that point. Now, many people that come to my shop will actually choose this one. This car is probably the prettiest, I will say the most appealing car. And it's unfortunate that many people choose a car based on how it looks than actually how it performs. I'm not saying this car doesn't perform good, but normally a short base chassis is not performing as good as a longer chassis like the Typhoon, the Big Rock, and the Senton. The length of the car makes a big difference when you ride in fast, when you're going over things. You see a small car on bumpy area wobbles like this a lot more. So it's hard to keep traction and it's hard to handle good. But then you got a longer chassis that the same wobble becomes more like a small wave in the ocean. You can still keep the traction, the suspension works better this way, less of the bumps, which a smaller truck with big wheels normally, like the Granite. But the unfortunate thing is that these cars are much more exposed. If something hit the side, more likely you're breaking an A-arm or a knuckle. And because of the big wheels, it makes it, like I said, wobble a lot more or just be very bumpy and hard to control it sometimes. Specifically on the brushless model that can get to like 50 miles an hour. So at most times when people come to my shop, I educate them. I tell them that my choice for beginners will be the Senton. This is my #1 selling car for beginners because of the big bumper in the front. The body covers the whole car like a turtle shell. And then this car also, when it rolls over, they tend to roll back to their wheels. So less of you running to your car to flip it back. And on racetracks, this helps so much for beginners when they just starting up. They flip a lot, so it helps a lot to to continue driving instead of just go down from the podium, go get the car, flip it back, and then do it right after 2 minutes, because you flip again. So with the buggies, it's the greatest car to race with. But don't forget, you can take this Senton, take some parts off, and convert it to a Typhoon in the future. And then if you want to make it a Big Rock, just buy the parts for the Big Rock, like the bumper, the body, and the tires, and here you are. All three of these cars can do the same, and the Vortex and the Granite are pretty much the same thing also. You can change the look of it. So don't forget, guys, don't choose by the look of the car, choose by the qualities and the durability, and for the surfaces that you're going to drive in. Some people want to buy a monster truck and go do high-speed runs. It doesn't make sense. You want to stay as low as you can for high speed and most aerodynamic. So if anything, a buggy. But for street, you get a street car, and we're gonna do a video on it sometime in the future, I guess. So final thought: if you're buying an Arrma, which is a great brand, choose the Senton if you are a beginner. If you're a young kid, if you're going to race on a racetrack, get the Typhoon. If you have a lot of potholes in your yard, get the Big Rock, the Vortex, or the Granite. It's just fine, but the Big Rock going to handle better. It's just not very appealing. I don't know why they chose just one color of a body. A little boring, just black, no stripes, no nothing. Some people like it. I don't care for it. I would like to see a little more colors. But that's it. Before we go, one last thing, guys. When you buy these RC cars, you want to upgrade the diff ring and pinion. This is the part number for the ring and pinions. Here's your ring. They break a lot, so might as well go ahead and order them from us or buy them when you buy the car, because it's inevitable you're gonna break them. And for the A-arms, RPM parts, definitely. RPM is one of the best things you can put on your cars. Knuckles, A-arms, and whatever else, bumpers and such. Thanks again, guys. Don't forget to subscribe and like us and share. Appreciate you.